7:22 now. Ever since Franklin Roosevelt, presidents have tried to get their administrations off to a good start by making the first 100 days in office a whirlwind of activity. For President Obama, this is more true than ever. His first priority is his $825 billion stimulus package he hopes will shock the economy out of recession. Joe Krier is president of Krier Wealth Management, here to discuss that. Joe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Stacey.
We talked about this stimulus proposal a couple of weeks ago. Has it changed at all since the days have gone by?
Oh, yeah, it's been morphing, you know, and President Obama, I guess we can say president now, not president-elect, he was saying, yeah, we wanted this thing ready on day one, and it's already been delayed, partly by some infighting there in Congress and a little bit in that he was late in delivering it to Congress.
Let's take a look at what it looks like in its current form. It's $825 billion. 550 of that will be spent, among other things, infrastructure, foreclosure rescue. We've been hearing about this, and banks to stimulate their lending.
And he's got a lot of money to push around. Remember, he's also got the $350 billion that was left over from the first bill that was just put in his hands here. So the idea that's different here is that hopefully the money gets deployed right away, and that line that says forcing banks to lend, a lot of the money that was given to banks on the first round, they took it and they stuck it in their vault and they did nothing with it. So what Obama's administration wants to do is kind of see this through, have some transparency, and make sure that this money actually gets to consumers like you.
And he wants to couple this with tax cuts as well. I mean, a lot of economists looking at this going, the deficit's going to just blow up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to blossom here, but this is a time to stimulate the economy and worry about the deficits later. You know, we've been saying that for 50 years, and the deficits never seem to get paid off. But some people are saying that the tax cuts are Obama's way of trying to cross the aisle and bring Republicans into the fray here. So there is, you know, we talk change, but there is some politics as usual in this bill.
So let's look at some of the other financial issues that President Obama is going to be facing in his first 100 days. First, this is so unlike you. You're talking about the negatives.
Yeah, we've got to bring him up, you know, and I mean, he's got all this massive economic turmoil, but Social Security and Medicare is out there looming, and he's even mentioned that it's not 100 days, it's 60 days that he wants to focus on. And in pretty ambitious talk, he's saying, hey, we want to get working on Social Security right away. Well, I have an $825 billion bet that he's not going to get to that right away. It's going to be down the road.
That's very ambitious. I mean, he's also talking about Iraq. He's talking about Afghanistan, Guantanamo Bay, this cash infusion, and now touching upon Medicare and Social Security.
Yeah, it's key to stabilize the housing market and to try to stabilize the jobs market first. You know, you really have to focus on those biggest issues first, or Social Security and Medicare are going to be even bigger when he gets around to it.
Some of the other negatives you bring up. American psyche has been altered.
Yeah, we have this sort of nesting instinct going on. You know, we used to call it a depression mentality, and people are going to be afraid to spend money, which is good for the individual, by the way, but bad for the overall economy. You know, if we could get back to saving 5 or 6% of what we make rather than a negative 2%, which is how it's been the last few years, that's going to be very well for us as individuals as we approach retirement and so forth.
Let's talk about some of the positives in the minute we have left. Gasoline prices fairly low still compared to what they were. Nice to see them
down there, and it looks like they're going to stay low. People are using less gas, and OPEC is not quite as organized as they seemed to be 6 months ago, so I think that'll be good for us as well.
Interest rates still low?
Interest rates are going to be low. You know, mortgages now at 5.25 for a 30-year mortgage. Sooner or later, that's going to get people interested in the housing market again, or at least right now refinancing all those adjustable rate mortgages into something that's fixed and manageable, so it doesn't feel like, hey, there's a black hole and all of a sudden I'm going to get a statement with my payment double. You know, people can have something that they can rely on there.
And you bring up as a positive consumer sentiment, which kind of goes hand in hand with American psyche altered.
Yeah, well, you know, part of it is that, yeah, the depression, recession is hurting our psyche, but there is some hope with a new administration. You know, people are out there saying, okay, this guy's been out here talking about change, let's give him a chance. And, you know, in most recent polls, there's about 60% of the people feel that he's going to have an immediate positive impact. If they feel better, they act better, and that's good for the economy.
Let's hope so. Joe Krier joining us. Thanks for your perspective, Joe. If you'd like to talk to Joe about this issue or anything else, call him 296-8138. The Big Three Auto